What's up guys, today we're back with another video. I know it's been a while since I last uploaded, but today I'm getting back into like this little schedule or whatever. So today we're going to be talking about the importance of sacrifice and how sacrifice is just one of the main components that lead to success for most people. So we're just going to be talking about sacrifice, the importance of sacrifice, giving a few examples of why sacrifice is a must for those that want to, achieve their further goals and dreams in life. Now we're going to be starting off with the personal and social aspect of, just sacrifice. Most people that have achieved great stuff, not all of them, but most of them have gone through periods of time where they have had to sacrifice, their social life. They might have, stopped going out and instead started focusing on, going to the gym at night or something, or instead of, hanging out with friends that didn't have that right motivation, they sacrificed that and they started developing themselves. So your personal and social life is definitely something that can happen to most people that want to achieve their goals. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a social life. A social life is very important for us humans. Biologically, we are meant to be surrounded with people to talk with, because it does help a lot mentally and physically. But sacrificing a lot of these social things like parties, late nights, staying up, not getting up early, people messaging you all the time, but you choosing to ignore them, these are some of the things that people have sacrificed and continue and will have to sacrifice in the near future for most people, or some people in fact, in order to get their goals, because these are what we call distractions. Now these distractions are pretty much obstacles in the way, and some obstacles you can move and some you can't. For example, some obstacles you can move. If you have negative friends, you can obviously leave them, and that is an obstacle you've moved out of the way, and your path to your goal becomes a lot more easier. Whereas an obstacle you cannot move would be, for example, fear. That is an obstacle that is along the journey. Or let's say, for example, for athletes, injuries. That's something that is really not preventable, because every athlete will have their injuries of some sort. There's no complete perfect athlete. There's not been a footballer that I've known that has been injury free his entire career. So injuries are one thing that yes, but you can avoid them. But so these are some of the things and obstacles, and a personal and social life being sacrificed is a huge thing. You will find that once you realize that once you've left these things, you would realize that you were wasting a lot of time. You could have used that time and energy for much better things. And so just overall, a personal and social life is definitely something that the majority of people will and must sacrifice in order to achieve their dreams. A second aspect of sacrifice is a loss of time and a loss of well-being for most people, because it can be overwhelming. But that is the whole point of that's the whole reason why it is so hard in the first place. You don't get, it's never easy, and that's why only a few people will ever make it to the top businesses, or making the most money, or being the best, athlete, whatever. But it's because there's a lot of time and well-being that goes into it, and it's just very hard for the majority of people to cope, with just focusing on one thing and discipline and being alone most of the time, and that can be very hard for most people, and that's why most people give up in the first place. So I think that an important aspect of sacrifice is the loss of time and well-being for most people. But I do say again, that kind of links with social life. You should have that social aspect where you can talk to people, whatever, etc. But a loss of time and well-being is definitely something that most people are going to lose in their early days, when they start realizing that these are some of the things that needs to be sacrificed in order to get closer to where they want to be in life. Another thing that most people need to get over with, and they need to stop, is their desires. If you are a slave to your desires, you have no chance, you have no hopes of doing whatever you want. If you're a slave to your desires, you will not be able to progress anywhere in any aspect of life. You must put your desires to one side, leave them, and just purely, focus, get that clear vision in your mind, and go straight down that pathway and focus. The desires are, again, like obstacles. They can be moved. Most people choose not to. Some people do move them. Obstacles, desires could be, athletes, that desire to eat something, that's unhealthy, it's unhealthy. Those kind of desires that athletes need to drop. So things like this, desires such as that playing PlayStation, with your friends, these are some of the desires that, you gotta move out the way just so you can get the extra sleep at night for recovery example. That's just one example. For businesses, desires such as, when people get their first income, or whenever businesses make their first profits, you get that tendency, you get that feeling just to go spend it. But that desire needs to be thrown out the window, and the desire to go re-spend that money, reinvest it into the business, whatever, to grow, is something that, is again a sacrifice. So another thing that people need to focus on is getting rid of their desires. Just let go of the desires. It's going to be hard. There are many programs, whatever, there are many videos you can watch on how to let go of whatever desires it may be, but these are just some of the things that a desire is another thing that people need to try and get rid of to get closer to where they would like to be in real life, because yet again, it's just another obstacle that can be moved. So why is sacrifice important? And it's not just, if you sacrifice, you can sacrifice whatever you want, but you still won't get there, because there are a lot of other aspects of success. So you can imagine success in like a bubble, or you can imagine success as a ladder, and each step there's going to be something along the way, whoever journey it may be, right? Everyone's got their own journey, but imagine your life as a ladder. Success, whatever you want to have, is right at the top, and in each step there's going to be different obstacles in the way that are going to challenge you, and that's what makes a better person. If you can overcome those challenges, that's the difference between a weak person and a strong person. When a challenge arises, do they stay down and just don't back away? Or when a challenge arises, do they tackle it and try to get it out of the way? So going back to this ladder thing, right? Now imagine you have a ladder and your success is up there, and at each step you'll have different aspects. So one of the aspects, there are even hundreds of aspects that come along in your journey, So one aspect is sacrifice, another aspect is hard work, another aspect is dedication, another aspect might be consistency, another aspect may be, you never know, like money or something like that, or time or something, So there's a lot of these aspects, and this in general are a lot of transferable skills that can be used in the real world, and that's what overall can build up a very strong mentality. And that's what people need, in this day and age. People are everywhere you see, it's just a weak mentality. A challenge comes, something happens, oh, I'm sad, oh, I can't do this, or I don't feel like doing that. It's pathetic, in this society and this day and age. People need to develop that strong mindset to overcome their challenges and progress through life, because they're the ones, the stronger people, the stronger mindset people are the ones who realize at the end of the day, they realize that life is life, that at the end of the day, it's not just me, there are thousands of people, and if thousands of people can overcome it, why can't I? These are just some of the few questions that you need to ask yourselves when going about on your progress, on your journey, wherever it may be. These are some of the questions you need to ask, like, if he can do it, why can't I? What makes me different? The only difference between you and another person is the mindset, is the mentality. Adopting a, what people say, an alpha mentality, whatever, that kind of mentality is what you need. That mentality to push yourself, get that last rep, go for that run when you don't feel like it. These are some of the things that add up. And when you look at it, when most people, when hopefully people achieve their goals, right, they're going to look back and say, all these things, and all these things built me up to the person who I am today. And it does, that's actually true. All these things that people do now are just a representation of, you can almost predict who they're going to be in the next 10 years. So you can go and see your best friend, see what he does on a normal day. You can almost predict what's going to happen in the next 10 years. And I'm saying predict, things can change, he may change, a person may change, but it's most likely. So the actions you do now will be shown by the results you will see tomorrow. And I'm just going to leave on one last question, is that when sacrificing different things, you're going to look at it like, should I sacrifice this, or should I sacrifice that? You need to just have a question in mind. Does it get you closer to your goal? For example, going to late parties at night, does that get you closer to your goal, or does getting those extra Or does it you know, for example, getting for example, as an athlete, getting those 8 hours of sleep, is that more important? Does that get you closer to your goal? You know, you got to pick and decide. For me, it has to be the 8 hours of sleep. You know, you got to get your mind, your body to recover, and you're back in the morning, you're back at it again, you know, training, whatever. But whereas going to a party, you're going to come back, you're going to be knackered in the morning, tired, 3, 4 in the morning, you'll come home from a party, then you'll come home, sleep at 5, 6, whatever, depending on whatever, how long it takes. And then when you wake up from there, you know, people are hungover, people are still tired because they haven't slept properly, their mind is not rested, and they just don't want to feel like training. And then this cycle goes on and on and on and on and on. That's where people end up in a hole. So people just create a hole for themselves. Where I've just like to leave on a question, you know, so does it get you closer to your goal? If not, then, you know, just, you know, write down your priorities and sort them out. But that's just my little view on sacrifice. I hope this video has helped you lot. Please make sure to check out my Instagram and TikTok. I'll leave a link in the description. And if it has helped you, please let me know what I can do more. Any specific topics you want me to talk about, then please let me know. But anyways, thanks for that, and make sure to subscribe. I will see you lot in the next video. Take care.